Let's preview tonight's Spurs-Warriors game, and yeah, Wemby isn't going anywhere.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from the Cybertronic Spurs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. And, hey, 8-game homestand for your Silver and Black. So plenty of Spurs action in San Antonio. So we've been covering a lot of the Spurs stuff, as you know, here on Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast. Google Play, Stitcher, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube, list goes on and on. You guys are the everydayers. We appreciate you stopping here every single day for all things San Antonio Spurs. Today's episode is brought to you by Nissan. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Well, take the Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Check them all out at nissanusa.com. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at tonight's game, Spurs-Warriors. Then we're going to talk about, hey, Wemby isn't going anywhere, right? Yeah, not going anywhere. And then get a nerd out a bit, okay? I'm going to warn you now. The last segment, by the way, our guest today is James Pledger, San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to be kind of saying farewells or thank yous to the Dragon Ball creator. So, you know, I'm wearing this sweater today. Akira Toriyama, as you see on your rundown there, we're going to be giving our salute and our top 3 favorite Toriyama moments that he gave us in the Dragon Ball saga. So it's going to be a little nerd fest, but nevertheless, hey, look, there are a lot of athletes, yes, sports athletes around the globe, pro soccer players. RG3, yeah, the former NFL quarterback, he even is a big fan. We're going to be talking about that and more. So quick nerd alert before we get started. But hey, your Spurs, they play tonight. They got the Warriors again. This is the first game of an 8-game homestand and the first game of a back-to-back. Spurs got Rockets tomorrow. So let's see how it shakes down. Spurs, 14-50. Golden State Warriors, 33-40. This will be, again, first game of an 8-game homestand. The Spurs are coming off a road win against Golden State, 126-113. What was so impressive is that was without Wemby and without Cedi Osman. They sat out due to injuries. Malachi Branham had 20 points. Zach Collins had 9 points. And then Barlow had himself a really good game, 19 points to win. Keldon Johnson had 22. Sohan chipped in with 20 points. Injury report. Wemby is not on the injury report. So, yay, he's good. As of now, he's good to go. But Osman is out and Devin Vassell is probable. So we'll see how that plays out. By the way, again, you know, Spurs got that win versus the Warriors, you know, this weekend without Vassell as well, which makes it even more impressive. So hopefully the Spurs can keep that winning ways tonight in San Antonio. The Spurs will be wearing their Icon Edition jerseys, their black jerseys tonight. So let's start off looking at some details about tonight's game. As always, we like to start off with the opposition. So Golden State. So Warriors. Well, recent history has been good for the Warriors versus San Antonio. Not good for the Spurs, obviously. The Warriors have won 5 of the last 6 meetings against the Spurs, including 4 in a row in San Antonio. So now the Spurs got to bust that streak tonight. So the Alamo City's been very kind to the Warriors. Hopefully they don't have any Texas hospitality tonight for Golden State. Keep an eye on the Warriors bench. This season, the Warriors reserves are outscoring opponents in 44 of their 63 games. So they can generate points off that bench and really give the Spurs some problems tonight. It wasn't a big issue in the last game. Hopefully it won't be one tonight. Keep an eye on the Warriors bench tonight. Now, also keep an eye on the glass, especially the offensive glass. Golden State is 5th in offensive rebounds. They average about 12.3 a game. Got to keep them off the glass. Got to keep those second chance points down. Spurs can't afford giving up easy buckets like that. So keep an eye on that offensive rebound for Golden State. Switching to the Spurs side, as mentioned, this is the first game of back-to-back. They got Houston tomorrow, but Spurs are not good in the first game. They are 3-7. So, you know, well below 500. So the first game is not usually kind. If Vassell goes, and great, up the odds. But as of now, he's probable. Wemby should be enough. You know, look, they beat the Warriors without Wemby and Vassell and Osman. You know, Wemby should just add to that. But still, you know, a stat to keep an eye on. But some good news is the Spurs are definitely sharing the ball. They are averaging 29.6 assists per game this season, which is good for second in the league. Sharing the ball is key for this young team. They got to spread it around. Even Wemby is a good facilitator. We know Trey Jones does his thing, but facilitating has been a big reason why the Spurs are at least competitive for the most part during games. So keep an eye on that. So that is your quick Spurs preview tonight versus Golden State. Coming up next, we have James Pledger. We're going to be just saying, like, hey, Wemby isn't going anywhere, right? Yeah, he ain't going anywhere. Check out what Pledger had to say about that, myself. And then again, nerd alert, we're going to be tipping our cap to Akira Toriyama, the creator of the Dragon Ball universe. We're going to be giving our top 3 moments. Pledger has an issue with one of my moments, so check this out. So if you're a big nerd, wait till the end, all right? That's coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. And I want to talk to you about Nissan. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be like around the next corner? Well, our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. Start off with the 2024 Nissan Rogue, perfect for city drives and escapes. Also, they got the class exclusive Google built in, which is always, updating your assistant to call on almost anything. Gone are the days of having to plug in your phone, connecting your whatever you have, your device to the car. Look, Google Assistant, Google Maps, Google Play Store are all built right into the 12.3-inch high-definition touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect mid-size crossover for your next adventure. Hey, what about the Nissan Armada? Yeah, the 2024 Nissan Armada. It will change what you expect from full-size SUVs. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in a first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further with the 2024 Armada. Look, take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada. Go find yourself your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com.
This is Emily Swallow, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And we're now joined by the man, the myth, and legend. He is Mr. James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Make sure to follow him on X at @IamPledger. You might be. There's been so much scuttlebutt. Oh, Wemby is on a timeline. The Spurs need to hurry up now. He can exit like tomorrow if he wanted to. It started with the national media. Just been really hyping that message out. James and I are here to tell everybody, relax. Wemby ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, for now.
I knew you were going to do that.
But here's the issue. Like, if there's still a 13-win team in 3 years and his rookie contract is coming to an end,
yeah,
does it not behoove him? Because everything we know, you and I have talked to the kid, like, the dude wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of really permeates through his entire being.
Yeah,
we saw it after the home win where he grabbed the mic and dropped the cuss word.
Yeah,
like, he misses that bleep, and I don't think he just meant being at home in front of a packed house. I think he meant winning.
Yeah.
So how long can you keep someone like that engaged in the team? Now, I'm not saying he's leaving tomorrow. And the way the NBA is set up, you get like Trae Young. You get to your end of your rookie deal, you get that extension because that's the most money that a team can give you. Yep. But once you get that extension, there's nothing that says, like others have done in the past, you get your first bag, you then force a trade to where you want to go. We've seen it across the league. We saw it with Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
So I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm saying the perception that he got where he wanted to be, so he's happy just being here, is not a fair thought process with Wemby, because he wants to win. And you have to do things to help get him to where he wants to be. Now, he's bought in on the process right now, but how long, if that process doesn't eventually start paying results, can he truly be patient?
Yeah. Look, It's just his rookie season. It's winding down already. The Spurs are in a good position this offseason to make major moves, whether it's trade out of the draft, trade up, trade down, trade their picks, whatever. We all know what the Spurs are sitting on right now. I don't need to go over that with everybody. So, James, I actually expect the Spurs to make major moves this offseason, whether that's flipping some of the players too, or perhaps maybe even keeping their pick and going for a Ricochet or whoever, Asar. I think the Spurs will be better next season, but the question is, how much better? That's the thing. If just look at the last 2 seasons, they went from 22 wins to currently 14 wins, and who knows next season. So they kind of dipped, and that's with Wemby. But the Spurs.
And that's
you mentioned.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Just they've dipped, and that's with Wemby.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they did.
Wemby is putting up numbers that we can't really fathom what he's doing on both ends of the floor. Himbo gave Tim Legler a stat the other day that I use on my show. And, my defense of there is no reason that Victor Wembanyama should not only be in the conversation, but one of the front runners for Defensive Player of the Year, despite being a rookie. I hate that he can't win it because he's a rookie, or he can't win it because he's on a bad team.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant to me because Himbo gave a stat. In the NBA this season, the San Antonio Spurs, with Victor Wembanyama on the floor, are the 6th most efficient defense in the NBA. Right. Without, they are dead last.
Yeah.
If that doesn't scream Defensive Player of the Year. So with this guy, they have somehow dipped. That is mind-blowing to me.
No,
the
it
fact
is.
that he is doing these things that haven't been done in 30-plus years by players. We're talking about, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Michael Jordan type. Like, this is the efficiency he's scoring. This is the defense that he's providing. Like, historical numbers. And they are somehow worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense in my brain, and I'm having trouble computing it.
Well, we can see a lot of missteps along the way. One, letting Wemby roam around first instead of saying, you know what, Wemby, you're going to be a 5 from jump. 2, the Sohan point guard experience. I think that screwed up a lot of stuff. 3, so many rotations and changes in the lineup. We had Malachi, then Malachi comes out. Okay, then Champagnie comes out. Okay, so there was that. And also, 2, and again, I get a lot of Spurs fans are kind of scoffing and turning their nose up at the national reports, media heads talking, hey, Wemby's out of here if the Spurs don't make it so soon. But
and you should to an extent. But if this drags on, I give it credence.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Where it hits critical mass is, as you mentioned, is if, again, end of rookie extension. Okay, maybe he sees the Spurs are making moves to get better, but within that extension afterwards, then that's where you start getting a little worried. Where are we going with this? Because as of right now, how much longer is this rebuild going to be? Another 2 more years? Do you think 2 more years?
God, I hope not.
Not either.
This is painful to watch at times.
Yeah, you can almost predict how games are going to go now.
And I'm so incredibly done.
Yeah,
with at the end of the Kings game, and you hear, we're a young team making the same mistake. Stop making the same freaking mistakes.
Yeah,
no,
you're right.
We're 5-6 months into this. You can't be doing that, and if you are, you shouldn't be here next year.
Also, throw into that Pop finally started to coach. Benching Wemby, benching Keldon, benching Malachi. I mean, he flat out said that Malachi was out because he needed to learn a few things. I mean, I'm paraphrasing there. So you're seeing that. What if he did that from jump? Would this team have a better record?
Sure.
So
and now it behooves the Spurs to lose anyway. So it's not quite tanking, but we're back in the position where wins are a bad thing at this point of the season because you've already done all this work to be a top 3 team. Why do you want to piss away the chance at those extra lottery balls when you can have Nikola Topic or Alexander Sarr or whoever you deem is the top pick in your opinion in a non-Wemby class? Everybody's going to have a different opinion at the top of this draft. Why would you not want to be able to have the best opportunity to get the guy that you believe is the best?
What about the notion that European players normally don't bolt? Giannis, they were from, he's going to leave Milwaukee, and he's still there. Joker, well, obviously Joker's in a winning team right now.
I don't see a reason for him to go anywhere.
The closest one where I think that maybe you get a little nervous if you're Dallas, with Luka. He might
There's
be
been rumblings.
He might be the first Euro player that say, you know what, I'm going to dip, because normally you don't see Europeans do that.
Sure, but at the same time, if I'm a young European player, say Wemby, say Luka, say whatever you want, we're a young team. Okay, the second youngest team in the league has the best record in the NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. So you can miss me with we're young.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. I'm ready. I've gotten tired of the whole young thing. I think they've been sitting on that for the last two seasons, maybe 2.5.
It's a crutch.
It's a crutch. Yeah. It's time to get rid of those training wheels already. And little by little, Pop's finally doing that. And you're seeing.
Oh, I don't think it's time to get rid of training wheels. I think it's time to get rid of players. Like you're not learning. I'm done. At some point, you have to make progress.
Well, as you mentioned in Locked On Spurs, a few weeks ago, hey, we're in the evaluate talent phase moving into the next season. And right now, I think Pop is doing that, but with the benchies that we talked about, for several players. So they're on notice. And look, this team is going to look different next year. At least I hope it is. Can you imagine if they run it back, Pledger? Can you imagine if they run it back?
Can you imagine what our locked-ons will sound like next summer if all they've done is use their 2 draft picks and bring in like a Chetty Osman or something, something to the extent of that in free agency to where it's like, rotational bench guy, blah, 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 yada, yada.
Yeah. What makes me nervous too
would lose its collective mind, and then you could start to put validation into, especially if they get off to a bad start. Okay, how long is Wemby truly going to wait this out?
Yeah. What worries me a little bit, I don't think Wemby's going anywhere anytime soon. Only time where it hits critical mass is if he's already, and I'm making the number up, he's at year 7 or 8, whatever, and they're still, not advancing for far enough. But whatever. What also kind of throws things off a little bit is that he is a big time star off the court. Can you imagine those marketing deals? Louis Vuitton, the drink company that he's with. I'm pretty sure he has a bunch of other ones, and the ones that are to come. I mean, there's Louis Vuitton billboards in San Antonio. I never thought I'd live to see the day. There's Louis Vuitton billboards in San Antonio with Wemby's face on it. You eventually got to think like the marketing side of his camp, his team, himself might be thinking, wow, if we were just on a winning team and these marketing companies, man.
If only.
I don't want that to settle in. I do believe the Spurs will make a team around him. My question
I've got a paper billboard downtown San Antonio, or I can have an LED flat screen in the center of Times Square.
I know, exactly. I do believe the Spurs are in position to make moves this summer. And that's why I think this summer is critical for the Spurs. Even I don't even take it as far as to say, like, fans probably don't get too attached to some of certain players on the roster right now because they might be gone. Can you imagine if they do the deal with Atlanta? You might have to say bye-bye Devin or maybe Keldon or Jeremy.
Or both.
Or both, yeah.
Too. It all depends what a team wants in return. I imagine Atlanta wants some of their own draft picks back. I guarantee you that. But even if not Trey, right? Let's say you roll into this summer. And it doesn't have to be like get superstar to pair with Wemby, in my opinion. I think big little deals can be a big deal. I think adding Tobias Harris in
for
free
sure.
agency along with like a Drew Holiday, who's going to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
free agent this upseason.
I would rather have
I
a
think
Drew Holiday, to be honest with you. I would have
Drew
that.
Holiday and Tobias Harris
Yeah.
completely, in my opinion, flips the identity and the path of this team going into the next year.
Yeah, exactly. And also, too, remember that whole note about, no free agents come to San Antonio. Well, San Antonio never had Wemby. Now, they did have TD, they did have Manu and Tony, but they didn't need that much star power because those guys were the core. They're the big core.
And on top of that, while Tim was respected around the league, I don't know how much of a draw Tim was in terms of, his personality and being out and that just wasn't who Tim was as a person. That's fine with that. And you also had, excuse me, like you said, Tony and Manu. So you had two other max guys. You had three max guys on the same team. So you might as you're good. You're good. At that point, you're looking for those Michael Finleys at the end of the career and Kevin Willis's and
David
you're
West,
looking for
stuff. Yeah.
Those are the guys you were looking for with that. With this, it's not that. You don't have the other stars. You might have one in Devin Vassell. He is trending in that direction. But at the same time, this is the frustrating thing about this season. You're as bad as you've been. You're without Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama, your two best players. And you go into Golden State and punk the Warriors. That game wasn't close.
No, it just smoked them.
Where was this?
Yeah.
Where has this been?
Yeah.
And I understand that they were out without Steph, but they still had Draymond and Clay. They had their guys.
Yeah, and keeping with the theme of the T-shirts, they gave them the special beam cannon and just smoked them. Just ripped them in half. They just popped them and they were done. But you're right. No. So circling back to the main topic here, do I see Wemby leaving anywhere? No, not anytime soon. I even think the max money, what with that super max deal the Spurs would have, obviously, would be in play now. But again, this team's been through this before with Kawhi. I think the Spurs never gave him a super max, right? I don't think they ever got to that point, right?
Yeah, he got his. Well, remember there's the multiple kind of iterations of the max deals.
Okay.
You have the max off your rookie deal, which is the max you can make is only with the team that you have to sign that extension to get that max, because if you go into free agency from there and turn it down, you can't make that much. Then there is the all defensive, all NBA, all whatever.
Oh, that one. That's right.
That allow you to get these super max.
That's right. Yeah. And that's where perhaps if the Spurs do have a losing record down in the future when it's Supermax time, well, you can't you can't get all defensive player of the year because you're on a team that averages a defensive rating at the bottom or something like that. That could impact him. But no,
as I said earlier, by no fault of his own.
Yeah. So Spurs, I think it'll be about, and I'm being generous here, maybe 8-9 years before the fan base has to cross that bridge into, oh shit, is he going to stay? What's happening here? I think that. So he isn't going anywhere, and I don't think he'll force his way out. I think it'll have to reach such a critical mass for that to happen. Kawhi just didn't want to stay in San Antonio. He just wanted to go home.
And that's fair. Once he gets that rookie extension, like Devin's got, like Keldon's got, then I think you kind of have to worry. Once he gets that first payment installation, then you have to worry because now it's on him. It's all NBA teams make a supermax, and after you get that first deal, after being a rookie, your bird rights travel with you if you're traded, so you can still get that supermax if you hit certain markers. So to me, I'm looking at 5 years down the road. That's that's your barometer. And to think that this, you shouldn't be competing right now is ridiculous. You should. You've got a player playing at a level that is worthy of the conversation of Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, and you are wasting it on a bottom 3 team. That's
yeah. And
ridiculous.
You talk like now you're starting to see them play better. They are playing better. But I'm thinking like this is so backwards. Like, okay, like you're at the point of the season now where you got to be thinking lottery balls now. But now you want to win? Like, no, like now you as a Spurs fan at this point you should be, oh darn, they lost again. Oh,
it would be the most Spurs thing ever that they start winning at the end of the year and trick everyone into running it back.
Yeah, good Lord. Well, it's Pleasure and I said as of right now. We don't predict Wemby's going anywhere. You can ignore the national media, all the national talking heads. That ain't gonna happen, at least for now. But how about this? The Spurs are they're on notice. Let's put it that way. The GM, the brass, the scouts, all Peter J. Holt. Everybody's on notice. Like, okay, we got something special here. Let's Wemby. Let's make something better starting this off season.
And to me, you mentioned right off the top, the one who's going to be most on notice, in my opinion, is one Brian Wright. There's RC you don't touch because he is the head of the entirety of the organization.
Yep.
But Pop has come out multiple times. His son woke him up and like, you got the number 1 pick, and I started watching tape on Victor at that point. He hadn't watched anything before. Like,
heck.
And he's told us this multiple times. He's not involved in the draft process anymore. And that's fine. I believe it, don't believe it, whatever you want to do. If I take him at his word, this is all Brian Wright. And the only thing I have from Brian Wright that tells me that he is good at his job currently is Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
Because Victor Wembanyama, anybody can make that pick. That is not smart. But look at the players brought in. Like Trey Jones, that's a nice find in the second round, I guess.
Yeah.
Although
some fans may disagree with you and say Halliburton was on the board. Alfred Sengun was on the board. Alfred Sengun was on the board. Yeah.
And those are all valid points. You look at free agency. What have they done? The greatest thing you could say is they've gotten guys that they found off the scrap heap like Barlow, Bassie, and Champagny and just turned them into actual NBA contributors. Exactly. Contributors on a bad team. I don't know if they make another roster in the NBA, but they've actually parlayed that into future deals. So, I mean, that's Brian Wright's what he's got to hang his hat on. A guy that anybody and their mother would have picked if they didn't even know basketball.
Well, remember
Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, Champagny, Bassie, and Barlow.
Well, remember during the draft process, the lottery night, he had to be told that the Spurs won. Do you remember that story? That he was still fumbling with his papers to try to see if the numbers matched up, and another GM had to tell him, "You just won," and he was like, huh? So, with that being said, he is James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star, host of Extra Innings. Follow him on X at @IamPledger. When we get back, James and I, we share a common bond outside of Spurs, just being good friends. But one thing that bonds us close is our love for the Dragon Ball universe. The creator of the universe, Akira Toriyama, passed away. We're going to give our salute to Akira in just a few seconds. Hey, I want to talk about LinkedIn Talent Solutions. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has all the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Look, it's not just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 million. Well, actually make that 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. It gives you access to professionals you can't find anywhere else. LinkedIn does all that while making the most of the process, making it easier and intuitive. Look, hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats, and they might not have the time or the resources to hire. So LinkedIn is constantly finding new ways to make the process easier. They even launched a new feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process easier and quicker. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. You should too. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA to post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/LockedOnNBA. Terms and conditions apply. Hey, I want to talk about Muslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee. You want to go there right now? San Antonio, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. That's in the 281 and 1604 area. They're a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs, a proud community member. They love serving San Antonio all their good drinks, such as if you need a latte, yeah, they got that. Cold brew, got that too. Dairy alternatives, yep. Signature drinks like the Muslinger or the Red Bull infused Lightning Bolt series, they got all that too. Hey, you want something different? How about mini donuts? They got mini donuts as well. They're constantly having new items for you to choose on their menu. That's why you got to follow them on social media, on X, Threads, Facebook, TikTok. Pick a platform they are there at Muslinger SATX. Make sure you follow them right now. Look, I go there so often. I get my drinks from there. You should do that too. So many people rave about them. San Antonio loves them. Muslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee. And get this, they're open every day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's why you want to go there right now, San Antonio. Ignore everybody else. You want to go to Muslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. Again, in the 281 and 1604 area. Open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go there right now. What are you waiting for? Yeah, because life is too short for bland coffee.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And we're back with James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star, host of Extra Innings. Follow him on X at @IamPledger. And look, we know it's a Spurs show. We get that. But we're going to take just a few minutes, not too much of your time, everybody. But in case you look, everybody knows, I think everybody knows in San Antonio that I'm a big nerd, that one of my favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z. In my opinion, James might differ, but my opinion, it is the GOAT.
No, it's the GOAT.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT, flat out.
You won't catch an argument from me.
James, well, we will probably catch an argument on my top three moments, but James is also a big Dragon Ball Z fan. As a matter of fact, as James and I got to know one another, we found out we shared that common bond. And I texted him questions that I have about the story and the characters. I mean, it goes that deep. When I'm on Extra Innings, we mention it from time to time. So, in case, I think everybody knows by now, but if you didn't, the creator, Akira Toriyama, passed away at a young age. was he 65, 68? He was
68.
68, still young. The globe was in mourning, just shocked. Because I'm pretty sure I'm right, James. I think it was really the DB universe that kind of ushered in the anime revolution in the United States, like your Cartoon Networks, what was it? What was the network? The late night show where we showed them.
Toonami.
Thank you. Toonami brought them in, slowly bringing it in, and they were the Dragon Ball Z universe of Akira Toriyama's story. His manga is another word for comic in Japanese. Mm-hmm. Ushered in that revolution to the United States. So, when the word came out, and I'm sure James was just as shocked and saddened by it. I really, really was shocked and saddened by it. I mean, you follow me on social media.
You found out on X, right?
Yeah, I found out on X. Yeah.
I was scrolling through because it was the weird thing about how it happened. He apparently had passed away on March 1st. We didn't find out until Thursday night. Wow. Thursday night, the news had gotten out, and then Capsule Corp, Akira Toriyama's company, released a statement allowing giving the news of his passing. But he had passed away on March 1st, so they kept it quiet for like a week, which was another thing all in and of itself. And I just remember sitting there, and I was kind of lost for a second because he has so many projects in the work right now still.
Well, so to tip our cap and say thank you to Akira Toriyama, James Pledger and I are going to give our top 3 personal moments in the universe. If you follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone, you already know what it is, but I'm going to repeat them here. James has an issue, I think, with one of my picks, but in no particular order. It is the teaming of Frieza and Goku versus Jiren. I just thought in my lifetime I would never, ever, ever, ever see Goku and Frieza team up. Especially, and I can see Goku doing it, but I never thought that Frieza would be okay with it. But so that was shocking to me, and also just awesome fight. Two, again, no particular order. The Goku Majin Vegeta fight. James, they were going to kill each other. I mean, they were going to wreck each other.
I mean, they weren't.
Oh, good lord!
Goku had the trump card in his back pocket. He was never in danger in that fight.
Well, I mean, Majin Vegeta had him on the ropes. Remember, he pinned him to the wall, the rock wall.
Yeah.
And
he just clowned. Goku could have gone super.
He literally clowned him. He told him
because Goku let him. Remember, he could go Super Saiyan 3 at that point. There was never going to be an instance where that fight was going to go in Vegeta's favor.
And my final moment was the first time. This is where James has an issue with it. First time we see Goku go SS3, Super Saiyan 3. For me, it was just the build-up, the hype, the way they animated the power level reaching to a new level. Not kidding. The world shook. Mm-hmm. Electricity was going out in the world. I mean, even some of his friends were telling him, you chill out, man. Stop. You're going to wreck everything. And just, the music was just awesome in that moment. And then, of course, the big reveal that, he found another level. So those are my top three moments. What about you, Pledger?
Yeah, I've got an issue with your list. I do. And three, that fight between Goku and Vegeta was just beautifully animated. It was great. We didn't know that he had the trump card in his back pocket, but he did. So it kind of takes away a little bit from the fight, but it was just such an awesome fight to see because it was build up.
It was peak Vegeta. That was peak Vegeta right there. That was his peak, like his most villainous.
Two, Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 during the Cell games. That was you talk about Goku going Super Saiyan 3. The Super Saiyan 2, because it wasn't Goku this time. Yeah. They were trying to set up Gohan as the successor to Dragon Ball, and it was kind of supposed to end there. Actually, that was really cool because it's always been Goku that saves the day. So it was just kind of a what the bleep moment, and it also happens to conversely be my favorite version of Gohan. Just his look, his aesthetics there. That is like peak, like the style, all of it. The wearing Piccolo's training garbs, like all of it was just greatness to me.
Chef's kiss.
And number one, and this is my issue that it's not even on your list. It's going Super Saiyan for the first time.
Yeah,
there was from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to everything was leading to kind of this moment, and it paid off in such a spectacular fashion to where when he transforms after Krillin and Piccolo get killed by Frieza, who they thought they had defeated already, and we thought it was over. Little did we know it was just the beginning. And the Super Saiyan of legend that Vegeta had been talking to throughout that saga, and to finally see it kind of happen, it is to this day something that will give me goosebumps every time it happens. It was everything that Dragon Ball was and then went on to be. Like all the other transformations are because of that one and the singular moment in pop culture history that created. It's there are just so many seminal moments throughout Dragon Ball. I mean, you can point to the first fusion with Vegito, or even Vegito again when you see it in the Zamasu arc and the Black Goku arc, like that. Vegito is such a cool character, and then to finally see, because it was non-canon, because it was one of the movies, you saw Gogeta, and he was such a, you want to talk about a person that didn't F around.
That was him.
Gogeta did not F around.
But you want to jump in the nerd conversation, you can let James know your thoughts on Dragon Ball Z if you took Akira. And also to the Spurs, do you think Wemby's going to stick around for the long haul? You can let Pledger know on X at @IamPledger. He is with San Antonio Sports Star 94.1. What is going on with extra innings, man? How y'all holding things down?
Oh man, it's going good. Just getting through. Right now, things are really about to kick up because Spurs is fun and all. Wemby, I'm making my case for Defensive Player of the Year, despite the team's record, which is the hardest thing for people to get on board with.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why you got to check out San Antonio Sports Star, from the extra innings to the blitz. The list goes on and on. They got you covered. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and NFL free agency starts Monday, so.
And then March Madness is about to start too. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, go to 94.1 right now. San Antonio Sports Star ASAP, everybody. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Wemby and his tenure in San Antonio? You want to nerd out with us too? Talk about the passing of Akira Toriyama and your favorite DB moments. You can let us know. You can see it on your screen right now at I Am Pledger on X. Me at Jeff G, Spurs Zone. We're back tomorrow talking all things Spurs. Locked On Sports Today, 24-hour streaming YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it right now. So for James Goku Pleasure, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.